I learned to dive in 1982 after I left Moravia, went in the Army. I was assigned to Fort Ord, California, which is Monterey, California, right on the coast. Met friends that were scuba divers and decided that's something that I wanted to do. So I got certified in 1982 and have been diving ever since. Oh, we are. drop the anchor, boy.
Now the other one?
Yep. Like I said, I'm an avid diver and we travel a lot. And no matter where you go, you can always find somewhere to dive. So we were coming up here to see my sister for a week or so. And I just got online and looked at the Cayuga Lakes up here to see what there was to do, if there's anything up here, because I love wreck diving. It's my favorite sport. And came across the article about the barge that was found here by Mike DeGroat. We got a hold of him, and the next day we went down and I started talking to him. He was a wealth of information. He had the location of it, which is key, critical. If he didn't give us a location, we'd have never found it. Yep.
These boats typically did not have independent power for big water. They were almost all designed to be towed by horses and mules once they got to the canal. But to get across a large body of water like Seneca Lake or Cayuga Lake, they would have had to interact with steamboats. And typically, it wouldn't be a steamboat towing a single canal boat. It would be a steamboat towing anywhere from 6, 10, 20, and even 30 canal boats at one time to get them from, point A to point B. Usually that would mean the length of the lake.
I came up last year and did one dive and didn't find it. Came back a couple months later, did another dive and didn't find it. And then the fourth dive we did, we landed the anchor right on top of the wreck, and I went down the anchor line and there it was. It was just pure luck. We landed it in the right place. And then this time, we came back here to visit, and the last time I found it, my video camera didn't work. So I had no video. So I really wanted to get back this time and take video of it. And so that was why we came back this time. When we're down there, especially summertime with the lakes, the visibility is really bad because of just all the particles, in the water. So at best of times, you might have 10, 15, 20 foot of visibility. So if you're not within 10 or 15 feet of it, you're never going to see it. So, I go down and I set up a search pattern, a circular search pattern, so I can cover as much area as I can, because I only have about 45 to 50 minutes worth of gas in the tanks. So I got to get as much done as I can in 15 minutes. And then as soon as you find it, you mark it with something so you can find it again easier. And like I said, it was just pure luck. And a good location.
The typical scenario for why we have so many shipwrecks at the bottom of these finger lakes is that they would be traveling through the lake on a tow, on a steamboat tow with, a large towing line and smaller lines. Typically, if the wind came up, they would be in jeopardy of being overwhelmed by the weather and water conditions. They could take on water. If they took on water and began to sink, they would be cut loose, because otherwise they'll just take everybody else with them. The people operating the boat, if their boat started to sink, they would escape to the boat that was tied next to them, and then their boat would be literally cut loose and go to the bottom. Mostly they escaped without loss of life, but there was occasional loss of life. And more often what we see is that they were frequently traveling with their draft animals. So a lot of these boats were equipped literally with a stable in the bow, and often those boats went down, and the animals went with them, and they would be the casualties. It is our history. It is inherently interesting. It tells us so much about life, lifestyle, the economics of the 19th century, and these lakes are just absolutely rich containers of a public collection that has a lot to teach us.
Find it? We're right on top of it?
Right on top of it.
You found it?
Oh yeah. Even if you look at the famous ships like the Titanic, if you look at it from when it first sank and when it was first discovered to now, it's deteriorating and it's going to go away. There's estimations that in the next 30 to 50 years, it's going to be nothing but a pile of rubble. And that's eventually going to happen to all of them. And I think it's important to record because it's part of our history. It's part of where we came from. And I think it's important to record that history, not just for me, but for people beyond me that will want to learn about it and hopefully want to go dive this thing. I'm always very cautious about giving somebody the location of these wrecks because diving is just like every other sport. There's good people and there's bad people. And I really get concerned giving the locations of these things because somebody will go down there and try to get in it, salvage it, destroy it. And it's important that we try to preserve these things for other people to see.
Oh,